Good morning, campers. It is day a lot. I think day 96. Can we say cold, boys and girls? Yes, it's very cold. My hands are froze. I keep forgetting to get gloves every time I'm going in. I got to put it down on my list. I keep forgetting to do it. I'm going to Harper's Ferry on Sunday. I'll be in Harper's Ferry on Sunday. They have an outfitter there. I would like, although, let's see, I need new tent stakes and gloves are just got put back on the list. So just walking like this, I'm not cold. It's not that cold. It's probably 48, maybe 49. I think it was when I checked them a couple minutes ago. But my hands get cold. When they're cold, it's hard to get them. And you're hanging onto these cold, sorry, I told myself I wasn't going to do that. Cold poles. It just keeps them cold. So anyway, even my nose is running. It's chilly. So headed down. I got about 3 miles to go to get to Waynesboro. I'm going to drop down in there real fast. Drop something off at the post office, and then hopefully there's some sort of restaurant, fast food place, any place around it, which I think there is because there's a Walmart right there, so there's bound to be a Subway or a McDonald's or something down there. I'm gonna grab food for the day, so grab like 3 sandwiches, 3 or 4 sandwiches, put them in my pack so I don't have to eat any of my food, so I'm not stressing about resupplying. And then I think down the road I've got another there's a rock jumped up in front of me. There's a place called Smithfield, which is only about a mile off trail. I think that's down, I want to say 16 miles, 18 miles, something like that. I'll drop in there. Well, I might not if I get food enough today. So the goal is to go about 20 miles today, even with dropping down into Waynesboro. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off, but I got to start being consistent with my 20s plus, because as much as I've been meandering, I still gotta maintain some semblance of consistency with my mileage, because doing 14s and 16s will get me behind real fast. So I need to do a couple of 24s for every, so you think about it, for every 24, every 4 days, I'm almost adding another day of hiking in the 4 days. So every 8 days, I'm adding 2 days of hiking. They make up for 0 days. Because right now, the way it stands, if I did my numbers right, just rough in my head, I need to average 18 miles a day, every day with no stops. That's if I don't do any stops, which I know I'll end up doing stops. So that means I need to do about 20 miles a day, average right now with stops, right around there. The numbers, I've been back and forth on the numbers. Yeah, out here on the trail, it's like you go over these numbers over and over and over again, they get all mixed up and jumbled. So anyway, I still want to get done by the end of November. Talked to a Sobo yesterday, passed me up. Guy's trucking, he left at the end of July. And he already caught up to me. He's trucking he says he's averaging about 3 miles an hour throughout the trek. I'm like, that's awesome, man. So anyway, he said, I think I'm bringing up the pack. He goes, no, there's a whole bunch of Sobos behind you. So that's a good sign. When you got people behind you, then you know you're doing all right, because all those guys got to make it too. So it's a good thing. So anyway, that's my story for now. My hands are freezing holding this phone out. My fingers are going blue. The fingertips are almost blue. They're so cold. So that's my story for now. I will talk to you guys a little later. If I go into Waynesboro, Maybe I'll take a picture of the sign or something like that, just give you something to look at, because there is not much to see today, that's for sure. This is a it doesn't look very exciting, this part of the trek, let's put it that way. So I'll give you what I can. All right, take care. So I forgot to tell you that I checked all the weather apps yesterday. I'm all over the internet looking at weather apps, trying to get an idea of when it's gonna rain again, just to get a general idea. I'm looking at everything that I know, any resource that I know that talks about weather. Nobody's got anything for weather as far as other than sunny listed on any of their sites for the next 4 or 5 days. Okay, now that might have changed since last time I checked, but anyway, this is before I went to bed last night. So I wake up 1 o'clock in the morning, it's pouring. It is pouring rain. I'm like, oh, so much for the weatherman. These guys get paid to be wrong most of the time. Man, it's I'm in the wrong business, or I'm not in business, but I should get into the weather business. It's crazy. So anyway, it rained all night long. Now maybe this is a mountain thing. Maybe it just rains on top of the mountain and there's, you know, it doesn't get covered by the weather apps. I get that, but I feel like Charlie Brown, because this is the second time it happened. I feel like Charlie Brown, this little rain cloud's following me around, because what, 3-4 days ago, I might have told you guys about that huge rainstorm that came in on me all night. I talked to some hikers that were like a mile away from me. They didn't get a drop. So I'm like, man, something ain't right. And so, but it looks like it rained in this whole area because everything's still wet. I've been walking for a while and everything's still wet. So it looks like it was a pretty big storm that went through. It wasn't that heavy. It's just, it lasted a while. So it, one of them things. So anyway, that's my story. So a little more trail magic happened to me today. I got outside of Waynesboro pretty early. So I decided I had something I needed to drop off at the post office. So I went down, and the way it looks on the map and the way guys describe it, it's a little over a mile off trail. Or if it says anywhere that it's any more, it's a little, it's one of those things. So I didn't think it was that far off trail. Although you know me, I'm 2 miles or less, even upwards of 4 miles or less if I'm getting desperate. Anyway, so I started walking. I got off trail and went down towards Waynesboro, and I'm walking down this pretty busy road. Huge shoulders though, that was good. And I got down, post office, 2.1 miles later. I'm like, yikes. I didn't realize that it was that far, and there's no, I guess I could have pulled up Google Maps, but I was looking at it at gut hooks, and somebody had made a comment that was only about 1.5 miles, so I was like, okay, I'm good. So anyway, I missed that somewhere. So I walked down in there, went to the post office, went over, they had one of those, I forget the name of it, sheets. Yeah, SHEETZ, sheets. So I ordered a sandwich and got a Coke and went outside and ate it. Then I went back inside. That was my lunch, and that was about 11, I guess. So I went back inside to order food for the rest of the day, so I didn't have to break into my stuff. So I ordered a couple of grilled chicken sandwiches because they hold well. I didn't want them, and I didn't put anything on them that might turn in my bag or whatever, like mayo or none of that. Well, actually I did. I put honey mustard and pickles and onions, I think, or something like that. Anyway, I put them in my bag, or I was waiting for them, paid for them, and I'm standing over in the corner waiting. And this lady walks up to me, she goes, "Are you hiking the AT?" And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." And she goes, did you walk down here? I'm like, yes, ma'am. She goes, do you want to ride back up the hill? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. So this 2.1 miles wasn't just 2.1 miles. It was 2.1 miles downhill, like a 7% grade downhill. And when I was going down, I'm like, man, I got to walk back up this thing. So anyway, if you can't tell, I'm lost. I totally see nothing in this area. So I'm going to turn back around. Anyway. So while I'm standing there waiting for my sandwiches, she offered me a ride, and I said yes. So I came outside, and she was waiting there. Had the hatchback opened it up for me, or had it open, put my pack in the back, and sat in the back seat. I think it was her sister that was with her, and they gave me a ride back to the trail. Score. Saved me a bunch of time. I was back by 11:30. I mean, I'm back on trail, so really cool, really cool. So I'm going, that's what I did. Boy, sometimes, you know, they really take care of the northbounders here on the trail, but us southbounders get the short end of the stick with some of these markings. And even someone on Gut Hook said, man, this whole area, you have to turn around and look back sometimes, look at the northbound marks to make sure you're still on the trail. It's easy to get off trail in this area. But as you saw from the last picture, we just crossed the Mason-Dixon line. Woohoo! Goodbye, Rocksylvania. So, I mean, they're still rocks, but not like Pennsylvania, right? And so I am officially in Maryland. I'll be in here till Sunday, and then I'll cross into West Virginia, Harper's Ferry. Should be in Harper's Ferry sometime Sunday afternoon, I hope, and then cruise through there, and then I'll be in Virginia on Monday, I hope. Well, maybe not Monday, maybe Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, something like that. Virginia, good. Virginia, real good. So, gotta love it. Making it. It's cold today. It's been cold all day. This cold wind. Not a lot of sun. I mean, the sun's been out. The sun is, there's no clouds. And when I was walking down the street, man, the sun was shining on me. It was warm as can be. But in the trees, man, you got this cold breeze cutting through the trees. The sun can't get through, and it's quite chilly. You can see I still got my coat on. I've had it on all day because it's been quite nippy. So headed towards the area of Smithburg, not Smithfield. I said Smithfield, but it's not. It's Smithburg. Now that particular place is only a mile off trail. I already did I looked at it before I started walking. I'm looking at how far it is off the trail, all that. And it's only 14 miles. I might be able to make it there before dark today. If I can. Well, I don't need to. I got food. So I'll probably camp in that area. And then first thing in the morning, drop down at Smithfield and get a hot cup of coffee, breakfast sandwich or something. And then maybe food for tomorrow too. So I don't have to, like I said, if I can keep hitting a town that's close to the trail, just keep getting food for all day. I don't need to break into my stores. I don't need to resupply. I can keep walking and walking and walking. So that would be the goal, huh? Other than that, still pretty good. Like I said, we're making progress. And that's about it for my story. I'm starting to rant again. I'm trying to think of things to say, and I'm running out. So anyway, hope you guys are safe. Well, looks like Maryland's got its fair share of rocks too. This big hill, or mountain, as we would call it, full of rocks. All the way up. Look at all that. Yep. Looks like somebody took some dynamite and blew up the top of the mountain. Everything landed right here. Okay, folks, this is a good one. This is a new one for me. All right. Sorry, I'm still laughing at this one. So I'm up here in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's woods. I'm on the top of this mountain. And there's this girl standing there. Muggle. and her boyfriend's up on some rock looking at the view or something. She's just standing there. She's got a blanket around her. She's obviously cold. So she's standing right on the trail too. So I have to go around her, sort of. I didn't say anything. She goes, hello. I go, hi. And she goes, did you hike up here? I started laughing. I'm like, yeah, how'd you get up here? She goes, oh, I drove. I'm like, you can drive up here? She goes, oh yeah, right around the corner. I'm like, okay. Never had anybody ask me, did you hike up here? I'm like, how do you think I got up here? So anyway, it caught me funny. Maybe it's not as funny as seeing it in real person, but I've never ever had anybody ask me, especially since I have trekking poles in my hand. I got a pack on my back, and they asked me, did you hike up here? Yes, ma'am, I did. So anyway, I love this. I love this hike. You see all kinds of different stuff. So. Hey everybody, end of day 96. I might have said 95 today, but I might be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's day 96. Can you imagine? I'm almost at 100 days. Wow, that's a long time. Yeah, good day. 20 plus miles, a little over 20 miles, plus a couple miles added in for good measure going into town. Luckily, I got a ride back out of town, and trail magic, baby. Very nice ladies. What was I gonna say? So tomorrow, so a little over 20 miles today. Plan is to do the same thing tomorrow. I got no place to go. I'm up on this ridge line for most of the day tomorrow. Then I come down and come back up again. Puts me in Harper's Ferry, which is West Virginia, early Sunday. I think I'll stop in Harper's Ferry. So it should put me in Harper's Ferry within 9-10 o'clock in the morning. I'll get into Harper's Ferry. I will stop and have lunch at one of the old cafes they got there. It's a really old historic town. They dress up and being a Sunday, they dress up on the weekends. So like Civil War back in the day kind of thing. Oh, my back hurts. I gotta lay down. Sorry. My bones are aching. I'll tell you what. I don't know. So I have talked to people, and I've read so many vlogs, and I've read so many people's websites and stuff about what happens after the hike. And some of these people, they ache for a month to 2 months after they get done hiking. And during the day when you're hiking, the pain is there, but you hike through it. It's not like it. You can feel it, but it's you get that deep down ache from the hips all the way up to the bottom of your skull. Your whole spine, everything that's connected to your spine you can feel it. It's almost like growing pains. So I got a lot of that. So you would think at night you're getting rest and you're laying down, it would be better, but man, it hurts worse at night because you're not moving and everything is stiffening up and doing its thing, and you know what I mean? So it's like, wow, it catches up to you. So it can get painful. It's one of those things. It's part of the deal, as I always say. It's part of the deal. I know guys that their feet, they took 2 months before their feet were back to normal, before they could actually walk without shoes on again, without like hiker feet. We call them hiker feet. You watch, if you're ever inside a hostel and there's like 10 hikers, somebody should video it and put it online. It's comical because everybody's walking around like they're walking on a bed of nails, and you just can't walk. But you put a pair of shoes on and you can walk just fine because it spreads out the load. So not one particular point is taking all the pressure. The whole foot's taking the pressure, so it's much better. But when you're walking barefoot, each little point, the ball of your foot, the heel of your foot, the toes, they all touch. Man, they're tender as hell. So it's one of those things you just have to deal with. And so I'm in that mode. Trust me. The bones are. It feels like my bones are growing. So I don't know if I said that already. Anyway, cold night, man. It's such such a good thing I got my box when I did, because man, it's just been cold every night. And tonight there's a cold breeze blowing. So what I did, I set up my tent with the wind coming from my feet towards so the wind is hitting my tent dead on the end. And I got stuff at the end blocking the vents at the end so it doesn't come through the tent. And I closed the vestibule on the side where the wind is, so it goes around instead of coming into the tent, it goes around. And then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to close both doors. It keeps it warmer in here, a little bit warmer, probably by about 5 to 10 degrees warmer if I close both those doors, just a little bit. So the quilt keeps me warm, though. I'm plenty snuggly. Sitting here right now, my hands are starting to freeze. I can just feel them just freezing up. They're getting numb. As soon as I get under that blanket, boom, I'm warm. So it's all good. Sorry. Anyway, over 20 miles. That's good. That's the goal. I need to hit 20s every day. These 14, 16 mile days, can't cut it. I got to keep up 18, 20. If I keep 18, 20s, I'll be fine. I'll be real good. And even if I get a little ambitious and knock out a couple of 30s here and there, that'll be good too. So, but I don't know if I think I told you I'd left my freaking headlamp in the hotel room, I think. So I had my stuff all out of my pack, had it spread out, and I think it fell off the back bed, and it was just on the other side of the bed, and I didn't see it. So anyway, Harper's Ferry has an outfitter. I think I said that too. Sorry if I'm getting redundant. Sometimes it's hard to remember what the hell I said. But anyway, it was a good day, 20 plus miles. I'm happy with that, plus the couple extra going into town, plus getting lunch. I bought sandwiches all day, so I just ate the last one, so it was good. If I can do that most days, I mean, I can keep my resupply pretty good and not have to go into town so often. And that video, I don't know if I said this today either, that video from day 92, the extra ones. Yeah, I said this too. That I downloaded it last night from out here. So I'm going to try that again. I can't do it tonight. The signal's not strong enough, but I'll try to do some more of that. And while I'm eating lunch, I'll try to download one at the cafe or something like that too. Try to get them out as I can instead of having to go to a hotel and just spending all that time on videos. Anyway, that's my story. Hope you guys are safe. Sorry it's dark, but it's cold. I had to get into my tent. It's and I don't have a headlamp, so I can't light to join up, right? So anyway, that's my story. You guys be safe. Please be safe out there, and I will talk to you tomorrow.